Welcome to Genius Hub, the right destination for human capacity development, skills acquisition, and empowerment. Genius Hub is a human capital development organization with offices across Nigeria and Africa, and with a strong presence in Lagos, Kano, Edo, and Rwanda. With a vision to improve lives and empower knowledge, Genius Hub prides itself in providing services and training to over 17,000 persons in over 49 TVET entrepreneurship, employability, and digital skills such as basic literacy skills, graphics design, website development, digital marketing, filmmaking, and many more. Genius Hub is committed to promoting MSME growth and visibility through incubation, acceleration, startup development services, as well as tech-driven interventions, including training and capacity building in digital marketing, basic digital literacy, product photography, social media marketing, financial management, search engine optimization, and more. Through NYTV, Genius Hub reaches out to train aspiring creatives in the areas of photography, cinematography, editing, lighting, and many more. Welcome to Genius Hub, the right destination for human capacity development, skills acquisition, and empowerment. Genius Hub is a human capital development organization with offices across Nigeria and Africa, and with a strong presence in Lagos, Kano, Edo, and Rwanda. With a vision to improve lives and empower knowledge, Genius Hub prides itself in providing services and training to over 17,000 persons in over 49 TVET entrepreneurship, employability, and digital skills such as basic literacy skills, graphics design, website development, digital marketing, filmmaking, and many more. Genius Hub is committed to promoting MSME growth and visibility through incubation, acceleration, startup development services, as well as tech-driven interventions, including training and capacity building in digital marketing, basic digital literacy, product photography, social media marketing, financial management, search engine optimization, and more. Through NYTV, Genius Hub reaches out to train aspiring creatives in the areas of photography, cinematography, editing, lighting, and many more.
Welcome everyone, and I welcome you to Genius Hub webinar series. And today we are having a very wonderful special guest. He's already demonstrated his commitment by agreeing to be here with us, a very busy personality, but he created this time because of the importance of what he has to share with us. My name is Obehi Okweabele, and I welcome all of us to Genius Hub webinar series. We bring you greetings from Isimeme White, who is the Chief Executive Innovation Officer and also the founder of Genius Hub. This Genius Hub webinar series is sponsored by Genius Hub. And our topic today is how to build wealth during an economic recession. Just as the what we are in Nigeria. See, this thing will show you at this present time. So we have our guest ready with us. Is Mr. Caleb Akpasubi. Mr. Caleb, can we see that your handsome face once more before? He is a wealth creation expert, a serial investor and a real estate mogul. He builds individual and retains their wealth, grows their money through multiple investments, and help them make strategic real estate investments and decision. He's the founder and CEO of Rolex Properties Limited, a booming real estate company with headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. He is a graduate of computer science from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria. Mr. Caleb is also the founder and CEO of one of the biggest real estate network marketing companies in Africa, Filtration Global. He will tell us the name again, company with his foothold in about 5 countries globally. Multi-certified, Caleb has certification in marketing and sales, and he has a lot more certifications here. He has certifications in financial freedom. He's also the founder of Caleb Akpasubi Consulting, CAC. Caleb is the host and convener of one of the biggest business and financial summits in Benin City, Nigeria. Caleb is on a mission to impact thousands of lives across the world with the right knowledge to facilitate financial intelligence, financial freedom, and wealth creation. And he does this through his cutting edge teachings, master classes, and team of masterminds. Behold, Mr. Caleb himself, present with us in this Genius Hub webinar series. You're welcome, Mr. Caleb. Can we just hear your voice? And if you are just joining us, here is Mr. Caleb, and our topic today is how to build wealth during an economic recession. Let's give it up for Mr. Caleb. Thank you for coming. Over to you, sir.
All right, good afternoon. Can you hear me? I want to be very sure if I'm audible.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, and I'm sure our audience can hear you.
Okay, thank you
So if
very
you can
much once
hear him,
again.
just type in the chat room yes. So he's sure that you can hear him.
Okay, so thank you once again for having me on this call. And I don't know, do you have questions that you're going to be asking, or I should just proceed with the conversation? I need to know the
First
format
and
of
foremost, just proceed with the conversation. Then as you speak, our audience may have some questions and they will put in the chat room. But just first give us an expose of why we are here. Thank you.
Okay, so today's training or conversation is going to be around how you can build wealth during economic recession. And of course, for majorly those of us that are in Nigeria and in some part of the third world nation, who practically understand the fact that the economy it's not friendly, right? And for those of us that are in Nigeria, you can literally see the constant rise in product and services. You can see the constant rise in even in the fuel prices and what have you. So that is kind of ushering us into a very tough economic space, right? So, and in seasons like this, that is how, or that is where you find where you say, okay, we are currently in the recession economy where so much is happening at the same time, and so many people are looking for way to survive and just have things going for them, right? But even at that, there is so much that can still be done, or there's so much individuals can do, right, to stay afloat or to create wealth at the same time, right? Because in the same economy where you have people crying that there's no money, people crying of hardship, people crying of, scarcity and what have you, is the same economy. A lot more people are making so much money at the same time, right? So the question is it that the economy is hitting everybody, or practically some part of people or some set of people know exactly what to do, while some other set of people don't really know exactly what to do? Or maybe some persons were more prepared for these times, right, compared to how other persons are, were actually prepared for these same seasons and times, right? So, but regardless of what it is important that we understand that if you want to create wealth, generally, there are certain principles that you must obey for you to, really create wealth that you desire. But regardless, in some certain kind of economy, there are some certain things you will do that, that will still give you some leverage in terms of wealth creation, right? So when we want to talk about having to create wealth in a recession economy, you would need to look at, number one, you have to be a value driven person, regardless of, what you do, regardless of where you stay, regardless of who you are. You have to be a value driven person, and apart from just being valuable, you need to position yourself in a place where you can export your value, right? So regardless of where you are in the world, the internet has made the global world, a small village. What that means is you can be in Nigeria, right, and do business with people that are in several locations, even in the world. You can be in Nigeria and do businesses with people that are in several locations in Africa, right? So it depends on how much you have been able to position yourself and being able to make yourself a person of value. So regardless of where you are, you can command value. Sorry, just a moment, please.
So he was just saying to us that you have to be value driven and you have to be a person of value. But it's not just enough to be a person of value or to be value driven. You have to be strategically positioned in a place where you can market your value. That's my major takeaway from this play. We are just starting and is already hitting very hard. Not just a person of value, but you are strategically positioned in a place where you can market your value. So continue, Mr. Caleb.
Okay, so I will give us a perfect example. In 2008, the world, experienced one of the biggest recession ever in 2008. But something happened that same year. That was the year Michael Jackson, was actually preparing for a concert before he passed, right? So proud to where when he passed, it was recorded that over a more than 1 million tickets, were actually up for sale. Now, in the same economy or in the same space where a lot of people were crying for recession, the same period, Michael Jackson sold out his ticket to the point that there was no longer ticket to sell. Now, the question is this: was it that there was no money actually, right? So the challenge wasn't about the money. The challenge was Michael Jackson had a kind of value that even in recession, it wasn't possible for recession to hold down the kind of value that he carried. Now, I usually tell people, see, there are certain things you will carry, there are certain kind of value you will carry. Only the poor will look for you. There are certain kind of value you will carry, only the rich will look for you. There are certain kind of value you will carry, only the middle class will look for you. But there are certain value you will carry, everybody will look for you, regardless of where you are and the location where you reside. So you have to be a value driven person. You have to be able to command value. So how do you command that kind of value? Number one, you have to focus on personal development, right? So if you the more you know, the more you grow, right? We are living in an economy where everybody wants to blow, but I tell you for free that if you blow, you will disintegrate. So instead of you to blow, it is better that you grow. So you grow by constantly giving yourself to personal development. See, if there's anything that anybody would do, to be able to scale through life, is you need to empower yourself with knowledge. You need to empower yourself with knowledge. You need to read. You need to, go for classes. You need to develop your capacity, because you can never earn more than what you know. That is why if you check the word earn, in front of earn, you will see the word L, which is learn. So the more you learn, the more you can earn, right? So the first step for you to create wealth in a recession economy is, first you need to focus on personal development. You need to grow. You need to build capacity, right? When people meet you, they should meet somebody of value. So so because it's that value, people will be willing to exchange that value for what? For money. So it doesn't matter whether there are some certain things that people must do, whether there is money or there is no money. People still have this money to spend. It is just that, are you commanding the kind of value that people can still pay you, right? Regardless of whether there's a recession or there's no recession, right? So you have to be a person of value, and you have to position yourself to export your value anywhere in the world using the internet, right? So that's number one. Then number two, you need to play in industries that are recession proof. You need to play in industries that are recession proof. Is either you are doing business in that industry, or you are actually investing in that industry. So I'll give you a perfect example. For somebody who is into food processing, or somebody who has a food, or a fast food or a restaurant, it doesn't matter how bad the recession is, people must eat. So if you play in the food space, recession, I call them recession proof zone. These are zones that are recession proof. Number one is the food industry. People must eat no matter how bad things are. At least for them to stay alive, they must eat. Number two, people must move. Transportation is a recession proof zone. Human beings, individuals must move from one location to another, right? And for transportation to happen, there has to be energy, which is having to play in the oil and gas industry, which is the fuel and what have you. So you have to also be in the energy industry. Now for that to then apart from that, people must pay bills. So if you play in the industry where has to do with utilities and what have you, no matter how bad it is, people must pay bills. Then you also have to play in the health industry, right? You have to play in the health industry. People must get ill. People must get sick. People must want to always look at sorry people must get sick. People must always want to look out for their health. People must want to invest in their health and what have you, right? So you have to play in that space. Then relationship industry, right? As a matter of fact, there's no time in this world where people don't want to have a better relationship, maybe with their spouse, or maybe you want to have a better, sexual relationship. So as long as you play in this, the relationship industry, you will always be in the recession-proof zone, right? So now I've mentioned the fact that you have to be value driven. Then two, I've mentioned the several zones that you need to play to for you to become recession proof. Now, when it comes to wealth creation, there are certain habits that you cannot run away from. There are certain habits that should drive you. I always tell people, show me your habits and I will show you your wealth. So it is not enough for you to even play in those industries. right, and make a lot of money. It is also very important for you to have some set of habits that can support wealth creation, right? I always tell people you cannot pray your way out of what you behaved your way into. The reason why a lot of people are broke today is not because of lack of prayer, it's because of the certain habits and mindsets, that a lot of people grow up with over time, when, maybe where they were born, the location, where they were born and what have you, right? So you need to also check habits that support, wealth creation, right? So one of the habits that you need to consistently help yourself to grow is the habit of saving and investing. Hello, can you hear me?
Very well. You can even see that people are typing in the chat. So you can see it and you can read it out. He just says personal development increases your value. So you can see that they are following. So we can hear you. Okay, sorry about that break in transmission. It is not just enough to be value driven or to be strategically located. You have to be a person that has habits that support that support habits that support wealth creation. That's what Mr. Caleb was just saying to us. Mr. Caleb, are you back now? And one of the habits, he just mentioned it. He said one of the habits is that you have to have the habit of saving and the habit of investments.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. Are we together?
Yes, we're together. Please go on.
All right. So one of the habits, you must constantly develop is the habit of saving and investing. Now, the reason a lot of people don't save is they make excuses like, oh, whatever I'm earning is not enough, right? So, but what I tell people is whether you save or you don't save, what you have will not still be enough, right? So it is better you save and it is not enough, and or you don't save rather than you don't save and it's not still enough, right? So the reason why saving is important is because there are two reasons you save. Number one, you save for emergencies and you save for opportunities. And I always tell people one of the principles for becoming a money magnet is you have to always be you need to always be in a position where you have cash reserved, because money will only goes to where there is existing money. Money is very selective, money is very sensitive, right? So money only goes to where there is existing money. So whenever money finds out that you don't have the ability to manage and multiply it, it runs away from you, right? So savings puts you in a position where you are safe. Like I always tell people, if you don't save, you are not safe. If you save money, money will save you. I remember very well what happened
Can you just say
during.
that again? Can you just say that again? If you don't save, you are not safe. Say it again.
Okay, if you don't save, you are not safe. And if right, so
Mm.
if you save money, money will
Money
save
will
you. So
save you. Oh,
yes, I remember very well what happened during COVID-19. A lot of people have been, just going about their life, especially people who have paid jobs. And those persons, majority of people at that time did not really have this, internet ability to leverage on the online space, right? Now, unfortunately for them, COVID-19 hit. When COVID-19 hit, it was said that everybody should stay at home. Some of these people who had paid jobs, who were not saving over time, a lot of them started begging. Why? Because the principles of wealth creation says as you live your daily life, you must have a cash reserve that in case anything happens, maybe there is a loss of job or probably there is an issue in your business, or maybe something happened in the economy or whatever, you should have at least savings that is capable for taking you through 6 months successfully without you having an issue. So if you are listening to me and you don't have cash reserve that can take you for the next 6 months, you are currently in a danger zone. You are currently in a danger zone. Why? Because there are two reasons you save, like I said. You save for emergencies and you save for opportunities. Now, let me tell you something. Somebody's emergency is actually your opportunity. I have been there many times where people have come to meet me and say, "Oh, Caleb, I want to sell a property that is worth over 10 million naira. But if you can just give me 5 million naira, I have an issue I need to sort out." Now, I was able to take advantage of that person's emergency. Why? Because I had cash reserved. I have saved for opportunity. So the person's emergency became my opportunity. They said something that when opportunity meets preparation, expansion is the result. So what you want to do is, whenever you make money, always have something you put aside. Always have something somewhere. It is an habit that you cannot run from if you truly want to create wealth, right? So the second one you need to do is the habit of investing. So you need to understand how to invest. Of course, investing is a very broad topic that even I in a 2 days masterclass, we will not be able to exhaust investing. But one of the things you need to understand about investing is that the only way money multiplies is through investment. And nobody can be financially free or nobody can create wealth until you become an investor. There is a four quadrant of how people make income. The first quadrant is the employees quadrant. The second quadrant is the self-employed. The employees quadrant is somebody who has a job, right? You only make money through active income. The day you don't, go to your work, you can even be fired. Now we have the self-employed quadrant. The self-employed quadrant, it is people who have handwork, right? The day you are sick, your business is sick. The day you travel or you go on vacation, your business will practically go on vacation, right? So the third quadrant is what we call the business owners quadrant. This is somebody who has built an organization and now he has a leverage, he has systems and structures in place, right? So at that point, the person can practically go on vacation and his or her business can keep running. So he's gradually moving into the passive income, quadrant. Then the highest form of income is what we call an investor income, right? Now, whether or not you are an employee or you have a job, um, you are an employee or you have a business or you are a self-employed, everybody can actually become an investor if and only if you can plan your finances very well. So what that means is, wealth creation is not a function of how much you can make, is a function of how much you can manage and multiply. I'm going to say that again. Wealth creation is not a function of how much you can make, is a function of how much you can manage and multiply. Secondly, wealth creation is not a function of how much you can also make, is a function of how much you can retain. So the retainership is where the wealth truly is. And do you know what a lot of people do? As a matter of fact, I tell people in Africa, we are gifted spenders. As a matter of fact, we have spending as a default setting. Most importantly, a lot of us spend money that we are even expecting. It's only in Africa, especially in Nigeria. You have not gotten the money that you heard that I'm going to be sending you so and so amount of money. You have spent the money ahead. So the spending habit in Nigeria and in Africa, it's a major issue. So it's like we work to spend, and that is the mindset of the poor. The reason why the poor work, the reason why they do business, the reason why the poor want to make money is so they could pay bills. But the reason why the rich work and do whatever they do is so that they can have enough money to invest. And I tell people, until money makes more money, money has not completed its cycle, right? You are not supposed to spend the first generation of your money. Every money has a money inside that money. So what the rich does is when they make money, they invest that money to make more money. They invest that same money, the children of that money, to make more money. So you realize that when a wealthy man is doing some of this flamboyant welding, they are taking themselves out on vacation, you realize that that guy is spending the fourth or fifth generation of his money. But guess what? The poor makes money today. The next thing, they will start buying liabilities. They will start buying, iPhone. What they want to do is they want to look rich. I always tell people are more passionate than looking rich than becoming rich, right? Because the real wealthy people don't even look rich. People who really have money, they don't look it. So you realize that in our society, people are more passionate about looking rich than becoming rich. So these are some of the habits you need to do away with, because if you don't do away with those habits, you can never create wealth. Like I said, prayer, you cannot pray your way out of poverty. No, because it's not lack of prayer that made you poor in the first place. So you cannot pray your way out of what you behaved your way into. So your behaviors, your characters, your attitudes, right, your habits needs to change. Because if your habit does not change, no matter what happens, you will still come back to your level where you are. And guess what? Wealth creation, it is not, it is a mindset. Wealth creation, it's not about money, it's not about cash. Cash and money is just a byproduct of what you have inside, right? Because you create wealth from inside out. Let me give you an example. If you give a guy that does not understand or that has not developed the habit, right, or understands the principles of wealth creation, give him 20 million. Do you know what will happen? If the guy's mindset can actually handle 5 million, do you know what will happen? When you give him 20 million, his brain will stop working. The brain will shut down until he spends all those money to the level where his mind can capture. Immediately his mindset will start working, or his mind will start working. Why? Because the threshold, he has hit that threshold of 5 million that his mind can work. The remaining 15 million, he will either spend it, do wrong investment. At the end of the day, all the money will finish until he comes to the level where his mind can accommodate. So that's why I tell people, see, the dreams, the wealth you want to truly create, the future that you want to see, the wealthy future you want to see, I can guarantee you, it is not this version of you that can create it. There must be a version of you that needs to evolve. There's something you must know. There is something you must know. I can guarantee you that. I remember, let me share a little bit of my story. By the grace of God, I graduated from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Before I graduated from university, I told myself that I want to be a millionaire. I made my first million as a student. As a matter of fact, when I was in my final year, I was driving one of the biggest cars in school. I was not a Yahoo boy. I did legitimate business, right? And I made money. Now, a year after I left school, right, I went back into the streets. I lost all of the money that I made. Why? Because I only knew how to make money, but I didn't understand wealth creation. Now, I'm going to say this to you. If possible, write it down. You can stumble on cash, but you can never stumble on wealth. Wealth is created. You can stumble on cash, but you can never stumble on wealth. Wealth is created. Now, I lost all of the money. Then in 2019, I launched a company that grew to over 20 countries in Africa, right? We made a lot of money. We turned out we turned over millions, profits and what have you. But guess what? In 2021, 2022, I had a major hit. And of course I lost a very large chunk of that money. Then I began asking myself, what is the challenge? Right? Until I started learning, I understood that the wisdom that is required for you to make money is very cheap compared to the wisdom that is required for you to manage and retain what you are making. So you realize that a lot of people attend seminars on 20 ways to make money, 10 ways to make money, but just few set of people in our society understands how to even retain and multiply whatever they're making, right? Because true wealth, it is not a function. That is why in the circle of wealthy people, they don't discuss income, they discuss net worth, right? Because net worth is the difference between what you owe and what you own. If you table all the things that you own and you put all the things that you owe, put them in two columns, subtract what you owe from what you own, whatever is left is your net worth. And guess what? There are a lot of people, their net worth is on minus. What that means is they owe more than what they own. Some set of people, their net worth is practically almost on equilibrium, while some other persons, their net worth, it's in positive, right? So you need to track your net worth. So as a wealthy person, you need to first of all have a value driven, product, be a value driven person, have a product that you can put out there that can sell even in recession. Now, when those money start coming in, your mindset should be, how much can I save and retain? How much can I save and invest? How much can I save and invest? Not when the money comes, you start spending, right? So if you consistently save and invest, it is just a matter of time. You will control a very huge amount of wealth. And like I tell people, see, you need to always think and have your exit plan, right? If all of the wealth you want to create is a wealth that only you can enjoy, you are thinking too small. Because don't forget, a day will come where you are going to leave this world. So the Bible says a good man leaves inheritance for his children. So you have to think about your exit plan, right? You have to start thinking with your in the end in mind. So that is why I always tell people, what is the proof that you made money 20 years ago? The only proof that you were on your active work and you made money 20 years ago is in the assets that you were able to acquire in those 20 years or 30 years of your active life. Because a day will come where you will not always have, where you will not have this energy that you have. As a matter of fact, the day you step into the marketplace, your energy starts depleting, because it's a matter of time. You must retire. It's either you retire by choice or you retire by force. You will not always work all the day of your life. So you need to start planning for your retirement. That is why you need to start acquiring assets. I know of a man in Abuja. As I speak to you, the man earns over 5 billion naira on annually on just his assets. He earns over 5 billion naira on passive income. What that means is, even though he doesn't have to work all the rest of his life, his asset base can generate, or is currently pulling, over 5 billion naira. So my question is this: the money that you are making today, how much of it is going into investment? Why? Because it's only your investment portfolios that will help you live the kind of lifestyle you want to live even when you stop working. That is why we, in our society, we have a lot of people who just work, not out of, because they want to work, they work out of necessity. You see a man in his 60s, 70s opening gates for people in banks. This is somebody who never planned for his retirement. Right? So regardless of what you earn now, that is not the issue. You can increase your income by developing yourself some more, learning more about that business that you're currently doing, that skill that you currently have. Develop it, increase your value chain on that current business. Then the next thing you need to do is, whenever the income start coming in, ensure you consistently save and invest for the future. Now I'm going to wrap up with, I'm going to say this before I open up for several questions. Now, there is a model I studied, two models. It's called the Igbo model of business and the Hausa model of business. I'm not going to talk much about the Igbo model of business, right? Because they do apprenticeship. When you are already there in the marketplace, you bring one or two of your brothers to learn the trade, and from there you establish them, and one place to the other. Now, but the part I want to really explain is the Hausa model of wealth creation and Hausa model of business. Now, if you see an Hausa man, right? If they tell you that this Hausa man has millions of naira in his account, you will not believe. Why? Because he doesn't look it, right? Some of these Hausa guys you see that exchange money, and all of that, that does some businesses that a lot of people even want to shy away from. I can tell you for free, those guys are big guys. If you really want to know, if you have access to any of them, the account managers, that could reveal some of these things to you, they will tell you those guys are big guys. Now, how does it work in the Hausa model? The Hausa model says the moment you make your first 1 million naira, you start business as a young guy, you start making money. The moment you make your first 1 million naira, you are not permitted to spend, or you are not permitted to increase your lifestyle. What that means is, once you make your first 1 million naira, you shouldn't change your clothes, you shouldn't change the food you eat, you shouldn't change your shoe, you shouldn't, maybe you were driving a car before, you shouldn't change your car. Nothing changes. You remain the same way you are before you made your first 1 million. Now, guess what? That model says you must repeat that process 7 times before you are permitted to change anything around you. 7 times. But what do you see in this part of the world? A guy just made his first 2 million naira or 3 million naira. The next thing he wants to go and do, he wants to go and buy one of the biggest shoes. He wants to go and buy, if he makes money that can afford a car, he wants to go and change his car. The next thing you see, he wants to buy one of the finest shirts just to impress people that doesn't even care about him. But guess what? He's suffering his asset. He doesn't know that your future, the future of what you are doing today, is embedded in the asset that you have. Rather, a lot of people spend money on liabilities rather than putting money into assets. As a matter of fact, in Switzerland, it is illegal not to save. They can arrest you. If you are in Switzerland, they can arrest you if you are not saving. It's an illegal act. So that is why, we've built an ecosystem where it looks like people are not becoming wealthy. But the truth is, a lot of people channel most of their income into, liabilities, into, for example, December is currently approaching, right? You realize that a lot of people are thinking, oh, they are just thinking about spending. Everything in their mind is just spending. It's just spending, waste. We are living in a society that supports waste. It's only in this society you see people who borrow money for burial. They borrow money to go and do burial. All true, they will not invest, but when it comes to burial, they go and borrow money to do burial. It is where the society has programmed the entire system. And guess what? These are things that are not helping us. So that is why I personally have committed myself to helping a lot of people to understand financial intelligence. Because if you are not financially intelligent, you cannot build wealth. Financial education will deliver to you financial intelligence. And financial intelligence is what will regulate your financial decisions. Because every one of us make decisions, but our decisions make us. So your current status financially is a product of the financial decisions you made years ago. If you must make a better future financially, you must change or upgrade your financial decisions, because your financial decisions are actually the roadmap that is leading you to your destination financially. And let me tell you for free, wealth is not by accident. Wealth is by intentionality. You must understand that there is a pathway to creating wealth. You will not just become wealthy over time, or overnight rather. You will become wealthy over time by doing the necessary things that you need to do. So if you don't plan to succeed, or to succeed financially, you have indirectly plan to fail. So wealth creation is a critical part of your life, and you cannot avoid, you cannot play down on it, right? So there are certain principles that you need to learn that can take you to the next. Like I said, I cannot really say much. I just needed to just give us a general background of what it means to actually create wealth. So if you put a little of all of these things that I've said, number one, you're a value driven person, right? Regardless of where you are, you can export your value anywhere. You can be in Nigeria and doing deals with people even in the US and earning hard currencies, right? Because of the advent of the internet and what have you. Then number two, you need to develop habits that support wealth creation by like saving, investing, and reducing all form of waste, right? And constantly investing in assets so that you can start earning passive income, right? So like I said, this is just a little of what I can share with every one of us. But most importantly, I would really, 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 really encourage us to take courses on financial intelligence, right? And it's so unfortunate that especially us in Nigeria, right? You go to school and they will teach you chemistry, biology, physics, teach you all sort of, right? But there is no time they really teach us about money, right? So as you are learning biology, you need to learn numismatology. So numismatology is the study and collection of money. So if you understand the study and the collection of money, regardless of where you are, you will create wealth. Why? Because wealth is an internal game. It's not an external game. So regardless of where you find yourself, you can build wealth. Regardless of the times and the seasons, you can build wealth if you understand the principles that governs wealth creation. Once again, thank you for having me on this call, and I hope I've been able to share a little bit of what I know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kele Bakmasubio. You can see that the comment section is on fire. They can't even keep up with you at all, at all. We'd like you to drop your own social media handles on
Okay.
that's our inner chat, so that you can scroll on the screen. So, Genius Up, please, can we start scrolling our social media handles and that of our guests too? And if you have questions, this is the time to ask our questions because we are wrapping very, very, very shortly. We cannot thank you, Mr. Caleb, enough. We do not take this your wealth of knowledge for granted. Indeed, wealth is internalized and wealth is created. Wealth is intentionality. Wealth is value addition. And I love the way one point precipitated on the other. One point precipitated on the other. It's just not enough to be you are value driven. Let your value be the one that can make money. Then let your value be the one that will be recession proof. Somebody wrote in the comment section, oh, that's the first time I'm hearing that some things are recession proof. And it made a lot of sense. Healthcare, food, transportation.
Petition.
These are
Wow.
things that then you now said relationships. Oh my world. So somebody, I saw a question there before then. Somebody was asking which is the second model. You talked about the Igbo system, then you talked about the Hausa. I think she missed it.
Yeah.
I think that's what the person meant. Those were the two models you talked about, the Igbo and the Hausa, right?
Yes. Yes. The Igbo model and the
Yes,
Hausa model.
and the Hausa
So which
model.
one?
So, Sister Emilia, did
Which
you
of
get
it am
that
I?
now? Did you get that now? Because the question kept, I saw it popping. It says, which is the second model? So maybe because you emphasized on the Hausa, she thought the first model is the Igbo, the second one is the Hausa that he
Hausa
explained.
model. Yeah.
Yes. Mm. So thank you so much. Have you dropped your own? Okay, you have dropped it. So can we have all our social media links? So this our webinar series is a place where we educate and enlighten people, especially our small and medium scale business owners. So it is not enough for you to just be in what quadrant did you call those people now? Third quadrant. You have a small business. When you go on holiday, your business goes on holiday. That actually broke my heart. For your business to go on holiday because you're on holiday,
Hmm.
you shared a lot of insights. Okay, can you explain the Igbo model? Igbo is asking you to explain the model. Can you imagine? They say you should explain the Igbo model, the apprenticeship. That's what he said. But Mr. Caleb, they want to hear it in your
Yes.
voice. Over to you.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I think I actually said how I the essence of me, talking about the models was the fact that I wanted to buttress more on the house, but then the Igbo model is a model that that actually runs on apprenticeship, right? When an Igbo man knows that okay, he wants to bring in his brothers of to actually establish them like himself, and at some point give them a room to really really thrive and what have you. But apart from that, let me also explain one thing that is unique to Igbos. An Igbo man will never tell you that he doesn't have a product. For example, you go to New Benin Market and you know very well that this guy is selling electronics, right? And you will tell this guy, see, do you have a phone? He will never tell you that he does not have a phone. We call it the other shop principle, right? An Igbo man will tell you, wait for me, is in the other shop, and he does not have that product, but guess what, he will go and look for that product, he will sell the product to you, and he will make money from that product, right? So you need to understand that as a business person, you should never be in a point where somebody will ask you, do you know this thing or do you do this thing? You will tell the person no. The best that will happen is you will tell the guy, see,
Give me time.
wait for me, I will look for
Mm.
somebody that is doing this thing for you. At the end of the day, by the time you connect A and B together and a transaction takes place, you that is the middleman, something must drop in your account.
Drop. Mm.
So an Igbo man will never tell you he does not have the business, he will only tell you he's in the other shop. They always have other shop. That's one thing. It's an Igbo man.
Thank you so much, Mr. Caleb. I think our time is up now. You can follow him on all his social media handles. You can be sure that we are coming back for a part two of this. I don't know where we are going to take it from, but you know exactly where you are taking the next level from. You
In fact, I've not said 5 or 10% of what I should have even
okay,
said.
okay. Can we
There's
can
a
we
lot.
can we can we make a commitment same time tomorrow, even if it's for 30 minutes, so that you just say 5 minutes
Oh,
of more of this.
and what will happen?
I want
Let's
to say
let's do.
thank you to the person who connected us, the middleman that connected us, the giant middle person that connected us. And that's why I said at the beginning that I needed to really thank you specially, because he just came and he dropped on your lap, and you took it. You saw that opportunity and you took it. When you say somebody's emergency is your opportunity, that was beautifully demonstrated. So I don't know whether I'm dragging you too much or whether I'm forcing you to commit. I don't know. But if that
And
can work,
I
we can
think
talk
I
about
think I
that
think we
next
can do
week.
next week. I think
Okay,
I have
next
some
week. I'm
engagement
for
for
it.
tomorrow.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
for it. I'm for it. We communicate through emails. So, from
no
all of
problem.
us here, this session, thank you so much, His. Thank you. He said this session was not enough at all. Did you hear that? He said this session was not enough at all, which means people are yearning for more. We have worked our appetite. We want to learn. Like you said, we go to school to learn chemistry, physics, and all that. We know they learn. We know they learn this one. We want to learn, and now we don't ready. Okay, so he has promised now that he will come next week. So we will do that and we will get back to us. So from all of us at Genius Hub, we're signing out. We say thank you to all of you who are behind the scene, all who are working behind the scene. And we cannot thank Mr. Caleb enough for sharing a tip off the iceberg, like you said. The big one is there underwater. Waiting we just see now just that small one. You are coming, you say, hey, see as that thing sharp as he fine. The bigger one is under the water. That's what he has just told us. And I thank you for promising that you will still give us time next week. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Faithful. Thank you to all the Genius Hub team behind the scene. Thank you to those who join us every day regularly. Thank you to our MSMEs. Tell us what you are learning from these our sessions. Thank you so much for joining us today. So till we'll meet again, not only on this Mr. Caleb's session, we'll meet again tomorrow, another guest, another webinar season. So it is me saying bye. Mr. Caleb, what will you just tell us as bye to keep them waiting for that next week?
Okay, so just ensure that you focus on personal development. That is the key to anything that you want to achieve. So you can always learn your way to something, or you learn your way out of something. So it's key.
Learn into earning. Thank you so much. And from all of us, it is goodbye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Now.
Welcome to Genius Hub, the right destination for human capacity development, skills acquisition, and empowerment. Genius Hub is a human capital development organization with offices across Nigeria and Africa, and with a strong presence in Lagos, Kano, Edo, and Rwanda. With a vision to improve lives and empower knowledge, Genius Hub prides itself in providing services and training to over 17,000 persons in over 49 TVET entrepreneurship, employability, and digital skills, such as basic literacy skills, graphics design, website development, digital marketing, filmmaking, and many more. Genius Hub is committed to promoting MSME growth and visibility through incubation, acceleration, startup development services, as well as tech-driven interventions, including training and capacity building in digital marketing, basic digital literacy, product photography, social media marketing, financial management, search engine optimization, and more. Through NYTV, Genius Hub reaches out to train aspiring creatives in the areas of photography, cinematography, editing, lighting, and many more.